Hey guys, how's it going? Ghosty Rich here today, and today we're going to be swapping out the battery on this Harley fatbob. This is the 2022 model, but it should work for 2018 plus, so on and so forth. Anything with the newer headlight style. The battery from Harley, if you want to go with it, there is the info that you might need. But either way, if you go to Harley, they're going to give you one, and you'll be ready to go. I've heard nightmares about aftermarket ones. You can do your research. Anyways, again, I've always had mine on a trickle charger. Mine lasted for about 3 years. It's time for a swap out. If you're like me and you went with a new seat, should be nice and easy. Just a thumb screw back here. You can cover the tank. You can cover anything that you're worried about being scratched with painter's tape or a towel. I will usually do this, take that rubber out, take this gasket, put it somewhere safe. Right there. Over here. Just come over here, just wiggle it out, lift the seat off. The new seat is way easier than the factory seat, I'll tell you what. If you have that factory seat, you have that band across. So what you have to do is squeeze down on the seat. You can see this hook here. You have to squeeze down to push it back to get it around. And then you lift it up on this angle to slide it out of that strap, which that strap is screwed on here. Anyways, if you do that and we look down here, you can see the battery, but you can't touch it. You're like, oh no, now what? Well, as you can see, I've already got the bit on here. Take a HW4, and we're just gonna go ahead and pull out the screw here and pull out the screw here. After you get these two screws out, we'll grab this black part and just pull straight out so it comes off the two rubbers that are right here. Make sure after you pop that off, you just slip this up and out. This is, of course, the same cover you take out when checking your transmission fluid. So now that we've got that off, what we can go ahead and do is we're gonna work on getting this plastic holder off for the battery. From here, see that little hook? Fold it up with your thumb. It literally just folds up. Now these are free. We need these to be a little free. Oh, I got a couple zap straps here, but I might have to trim those zap straps just to free these up completely. This is for my chrome glow light. And then down here, if we're looking, since these are open, you'll see this little clip. It's just like a one for a car. You just flip it down and out, and we're getting there. We just want these to be free here first. As you can see, 10mm socket right down here, and get right onto that bolt. When you take this bolt out, the first thing you're gonna notice is, I didn't need much. I used a tiny ratchet. Do not go and wrench this thing in too hard. Yes, you wanna be making sure it's snug so it doesn't come out from vibrations, but you don't want to strip out the terminal either, because these terminals, I believe, are stainless, to make sure they do not corrode. See the angle of my finger going in on the bike? You will notice there's a little hook back here. You need to press it in. I don't know if you can see my finger pressing in there, probably not, but you'll see one hook right here. Yeah, that's a better angle. Yeah, right here. Press it in and then lift up so the plastic piece right here is free. Right here, see that, how it's on the hook? It'll be over like this. Pull it off the hook, bring this one off the hook, and let's see if we can just, yeah, just slides out just like that. You can disconnect it if you want, but now we're getting there. I'm gonna see if I can show you at the very back there. Let's see, it's down by where that clip is. All right, very back of the plastic, you'll see a hook. You need to press this in as deep as it'll go. You might even have to press in. See how it's all the way in? Now you need to maneuver it around that hook so you can pull it out. It's impossible for me to show you with any flashlight or anything, but right on this side of the coil, right beside the positive wire, you can see that hook. If you use a long flat blade, when looking at that hook, you'll be able to move the piece of plastic and then grab it with the other hand and slide it out. There's just no way for me to get a light in there. I've tried everything. Let's see. Maybe. I'll see how it looks in editing, but I can see it as clear as day here, but it's that last piece of plastic halfway down the battery. You'll see the little plastic hook squeeze in the battery tray, and use the flat blade to release the plastic off the hook. Literally from this angle, if you get it, I used a flashlight and I got it in like 2 seconds. And now, as you can see, she is free. Now I just gotta work it around. That's the back hook. Like I said, from the top you'll see it, and you'll see that that's on the latch right back over here on the, or sorry, right back over there on the battery, on the side of the other piece. And now that we've got that, your positive battery terminal is fully exposed. Let's go ahead and take that bolt right out. If you have a tie wrap or anything, you can just put one right here. I would tie wrap all of this out of the way so there's no chance of you having to fight with this on the way out. If not, just do it like, maybe like this. Perfect, just like that. Then lift the battery out and through this opening. Careful for your dipstick for oil. You can pull that out if it makes it easier. What I also did is, just to get it out of the plastic initially, I used this to lift it a little bit. Don't, make sure that you're not gouging into here, but like I said, just lift it a little. I am, just for protectionary purposes, going to remove the dipstick. Some people will want to shove things inside here to block it, anything going in. If you do, make sure it is a long rag or something that can sit flat that you can pull out and that nothing will tear off. Because if you put something in there and it tears off and goes in there and your motor sucks it in, goodbye motor. Perfect, just like that, it's out. If you want, give it a nice wipe, whatever you do, just, yeah. We'll want to make sure we don't crush any of this wiring when we slide the new battery in. We're gonna slide in pretty quick. I wouldn't spend too much time cleaning this because it's gonna just get dirty again, but I'll leave it up to you. I know some people are gonna want to. Well, if you want to, from here, take your dipstick, put it back in for a second. And if you're gonna clean this up, now it's completely sealed up. You don't wanna be cleaning that here. I would go ahead, or without this back on, go ahead, vacuum it up if you so wish. If you don't care about vacuuming it up, just slide it back in. It's a battery tray. It's gonna get dirty again. And yeah, but some people will want to, and I will leave that up to you. Now that we've done that, make sure both your positives are back over here. That secondary positive is so you can hook your trickle charger up. If you don't hook up the small positive like this that has the fuse on it, then it will be a bad deal when you go to try and trickle charge it over the winter because it won't charge your battery. Now, this is a big thing. If you tried charging yours over the winter and it didn't charge, and you check your voltage on here and your charger says it was charged, but this itself doesn't hold a charge at all, it's worth taking a look at the fuse. That fuse, if I pull this out, is this little guy right here. What you do is you just pop it open. If you have a voltmeter, you can do a continuity test between the two of these and your meter should beep. If not, just look at it or just replace it. 7.5, don't change it with more. And if you look at it and it doesn't have a burn mark on it and it has that nice little Harry Potter scar zigzag all the way between the two, you're fine. Here's your new battery. Take these off. Leave these screws in here for now. You won't lose them that way. Don't reuse the old ones. You can if you want. Actually, what I always say to people is hold on to these, and I'll tell you why. I've had a friend where he's been driving down the road before, and because he just didn't tighten it enough, this screw came out. And he's like, where the heck do I get a battery screw from? Well, he had an extra. So definitely hold on to them as an extra, but use the new ones. Do not Loctite them. Loctiting them can cause a resistance. What the heck do they call it? Insulate it. It will insulate it. So don't Loctite the positive or the ground. All right, let's go ahead, grab this and slide it in positive to the other side of the bike, opposite of the exhaust and the air cleaner. Once you slide the battery back in, I would say instantly grab your dipstick, slide it back in. Boom, now you don't have to worry about anything going inside. Let's get the positive on first, because after you get the positive, everything's gonna go pretty smooth. But the positive screw on the far side, I'm gonna teach you a trick for getting that screw in, but just make sure that you don't put too much in until you get that positive in, just in case you drop it. Tip of the day, with your 10 mil, make sure you take a clean flow rag, put it over the socket, then squeeze the bolt head in. By doing so, look at that. the screw is not coming out. Why? Because these screws anyway, even if you had magnetic sockets, let's show you. Oh no, it's not magnetic. So I figure that'll be hopefully a useful trick for you guys. Once you get it in there, hold that positive terminal straight. The little wire for the little charging dongle, make sure you hold it straight with your finger, one finger, while you tighten this one. And again, hold the ratchet like this. That way you do not over tighten it. Use a small ratchet. Do not use a big ratchet. If you go ham with this, you will strip it. It is stainless. If you have an inch-pound torque wrench, grab it on the back side and put it to 72 to 96 inch-pounds. For a halfway in between, do it to 80. Now that we know that positive is down to, I did mine to 80 inch-pounds, let's go ahead and slide this back and over top. Again, you don't have to do the negative yet. Do not do the negative yet. Not until we have the safety cover on. What this does is it covers your positive, so that way, if after we connect the negative, there's no chance of it actually touching bodywork and shorting out your battery and possibly causing an explosion. Make sure when bringing this down here, the clip is open and you get that wheel speed sensor back up and over. Make sure you get that back hook in first, because as you know from when you took it out, that was the annoying one. Once you get that back hook back in, that we can fold this back in and get it over this side and just make sure it's all latched back in. Go ahead, latch this guy back in. Once you've got that audible latch noise, look at that, she's solid again. Let's go ahead and route our wheel speed sensor, and then after we do that, we can tighten that before we get all these wires back in here. Again, all you do is slide and then slip this back in. This little hook goes back in there and bang. You've now routed that again. Now from here, let's go ahead and tie our negative back onto here, the terminal anyway. Again, our towel trick, bring it down from the top. Make sure the thicker post goes in last, meaning slide this in first and this goes on top, because if you put it underneath, it can create too much of a gap. You want to make sure this is completely sealed down. Next is pull these apart. Let's go ahead and get them back where they should be, which is in between this clip. This could be the fun part. Let's see. Wow. Just down here, like that. And then this one goes down here and clip it. I might even just clip that one in there too. From there, we'll slide that little plastic piece, that little tooth goes in here, slide that on. We'll bring the other piece in and slide it onto the metal post right here. And then we'll be ready to line up our two screws. Again, this just goes down into here and we line it back up in the tooth. Make sure you get that tooth the first time. There we go. That's just going to protect that and make sure it doesn't come out. Then from here, we make sure our rubber boot lines up, sink it on. There's our screws. Go ahead and hand thread in those screws. Make sure when you're tightening this down that it's on the seam. It should be hugging that seam. So if you have that lip, if this flops and it's not on that lip, make sure that you take out the two screws, hold up the plastic piece and clip it on, and then get the two in. Again, these two, you could go probably the same as the battery terminals, but either way, I just do this every time when I do this to check the transmission fluid, because I don't want to pull out the inch-pound torque wrench. From there, bring your seat in. You'll see it has that front lip. You have to squeeze it down, slip it in, and we'll put our screw back in. Somebody's for sure gonna say, Rich, why didn't you show us? I don't know what I'm doing. Just like that, we'll slip it in. It just goes like that, and it'll kind of line up right here. It won't be that easy if you look. Actually, wow, mine was that easy. Okay, if you go to lift it and it still didn't grab, just make sure you come in at another angle. Don't just tie this down yet with a thumb screw. Make sure that rubber gasket goes on here, and then tighten on your thumb screw. If you don't have a thumb screw yet, get one, just in case you have to ever get under there when you're driving around. Just like that. There's also another little rubber here, but Don't pay any attention to that. Go right here. Tighten it up. The other thing that you might have happen, which I have to remember what 2 buttons you need to hit. I will tell you in a second. You hit 2 buttons and the bike will do a self-diagnosis, because chances are if we turn our bike on right now, it's going to come up with a check engine light from the last time you tried to start it. All right, let's see if I can show you how to do this. First, hold down your trip button and turn on the motorcycle. As you do, we'll see if the diag pops up. It does. We see DIAG. So from here, we click it. ECM says Y, so there's a code for it. If you keep clicking through, it says BCM, Y, there's a code for it. And if we look, Speedo, no, ABS, no, and then we're back there. So let's click and hold up. It's going to do a diagnosis. P1608H. I'm going to take a photo of that one. Okay. And then when we hit this again, I'll hit end. Now from here we'll turn it off, and I want to check the other code too. Oh, so for that we click and hold again, click, should go back holding onto our trip button. That's how we get there. All right, diag says yes. Let's go to the BCM. We're going to click up on there. B2151H. Take another photo. I always like to take photos of these. All right. And then from there, we got 2. They're probably all for low power. So you can see the little screen. As you can see, we go through here. ECMY, BCMY, and so as you can see, I'll show you how to clear them. We know there's one in the BCM. So we click and hold the trip. There's our code. Let's go ahead and again, click and hold. See how it says clear? We're going to click and hold again, clear. ECM now has no code. BCM does. Let's go ahead and clear that one too. Again, just so you can see, click and hold. By doing so, there's our code. We go here again, we click and hold. It shows. We tap it and it clears. It gives us a PN. We click it again. Now the BCM has no codes. Let's double check. ECM no code, BCM no code, and then from there we go okay, and we know we're good. If you want to make it easier on yourself, go here. We'll click here. This is going to be loud, but we'll start it. No code. It's that easy.